Hey folks, and welcome to another Rich Has an Opinion. I thought I'd try and keep things a little light-hearted, because let's face it, so far 2020's been a bit shit on both sides of the pond. With COVID-19 running rampant, and of course all the riots you guys are having at the moment, I really didn't want to get into that, so I thought I'd take a little bit of a jab at some of the things we have in common and some of the things we don't. I think the main thing we've got, apart from just as two nations, the UK and the US, having a massive amount of respect for each other, and it's only when you've got such a respect for someone you give each other affectionate nicknames like Limers and Yanks. I mean, even as a kid, I always felt more affinity to the US than I did the rest of Europe. And once we actually officially joined Europe and became a bigger and bigger power, and we were effectively, running it side by side with Germany, which is ironic, then, even then I felt that we were still classed as the outsider. But we still had a closer affinity with you Americans. There's a few other YouTube channels I watch as well that involve active or ex-military personnel from either US or UK. And again, they're always showing respect to each other. I worked with the British Marines, I worked with the American Marines, they were fantastic. And then you see it down in the comments. Hey UK, US here, you guys are awesome, thank you, I worked with you guys, you were brilliant. And the reply to that would be, yeah, we worked with you guys as well, you were amazing. And the respect and love for each other is amazing. And this mutual respect and love then also filters down to law enforcement. And I've seen videos where American YouTubers are taking the mick out of British body cam footage. But as soon as they've done with the banter, it's all, we're only joking, we love you guys. But when you think about it, our police aren't armed, so they have to come up with some different tactics. And then I remembered the time I had in the States when I was younger, and I realised just how similar we are as two separate nations. And then I compare it to the time I've spent on mainland continental Europe and realised how different we are to the other Europeans. So coming out of Europe, the Brexit, to me was a good thing. It gives us a chance to shore up this relationship that we've always had with America since World War II and before that. And how really the biggest superpower in the world is not the US, it's the US and the UK. Because every war that we've gone into together, we've always been successful. But I'm digressing. I wanted this to be light-hearted, and just mentioning there about how we've worked together in so many wars reminded me of a joke. So I'm going to repeat this joke. I'm going to absolutely butcher both accents. The American one, which I apologise for now, and the British one, which I can't really explain how I butcher that when I'm British. But hey, here we go. So let's set the scene. First of all, this is a true story. I know it's a true story because I found it on the internet, and everything on the internet is true. Now, it's the night of the invasion of the First Iraq War, and there's a British general and American general arguing over whose troops should get to lead the charge. So, old chap, says the British general, I was thinking about the battle orders, and I thought our infantry boys should be at the front, because, after all, they're the British infantry, and they are the bravest in the world. Bravest in the world? That's the goddamn craziest thing I ever heard, you goddamn limey. God damn it, these Marines are the bravest in the world, and they will lead the charge. Oh, but you don't understand, my dear boy. See, these boys, some of these boys, are veterans from when we first colonised India. God damn it, when you first colonised India, that was 1608, god damn it, who do you think you're trying to fool? These boys can't be that brave. Oh, but dear boy, they are that brave, because when death comes anywhere near them, they scare them away. That's how brave they are. Now, I'm not taking a word of that. Goddamn, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Goddamn it, you're not leading the charge. The goddamn Marines are. Very well, if you can prove how brave your Marines are, compared to my infantry, you may lead the charge. You're goddamn right, let me out. Goddamn right, prove that goddamn right now. Marine, goddamn get yourself here, front and center. Sir, yes, sir. Marine, what I want you to do is climb that goddamn guard tower. When you get to the top of that guard tower, you jump out and you land on that concrete face first. You understand what I'm saying, Marine? Sir, yes, sir. Get to it, Marine. Sir, yes, sir. I don't know what I've been told. Iraqi nights are surprisingly cold. So the Marine climbs the guard tower, gets to the top, jumps off, lands face first. Boom. You see, you goddamn lammy, that is the proof of American bravery. I tell the Marine to do something, he goddamn does it. Well, yes, a very interesting show there, sir. Allow me to demonstrate British bravery. Sergeant Major!
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Major, over here, please.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Major, I have a task for you.
Yes, sir. How can I help, sir?
Well, what I need you to do is to climb that guard tower.
Yes, sir.
When you get to the top, take your clothes off.
Sir?
Then I need you to jump out, fully naked, and land face first on the concrete. What do you think of that, Sergeant Major?
Go fuck yourself, sir.
And that is British bravery. Now again, I apologise for butchering the accents on that one. But that kind of joke always makes me smile, because it's not necessarily about British and American. It can be transferred to any two countries around the world. Does that mean the joke is racist? Probably, because you're making it about any two countries. Is the joke racist? I think that's a point of view. Racism, to me, or racist speech, is speech that is purposefully hatred. Whereas a joke like that, no hatred, no malice meant in it, so I don't think it's racist. And I'm also probably slightly biased on it, because the first time I heard it, it was from a British comedian who was actually in Afghanistan at the time. Okay, some of my favourite jokes are the ones that are interchangeable. They're not necessarily racist or sexist or targeting a particular religious group or social economic group, but they can do, and you can interchange that to any of them, and that's what I like about it. There's nothing inherently bad about the joke, you just change the joke to suit the political climate at the time. For this example, I'm going to use the chavs. Now, you may be instantly thinking the Capitol Hill Autonomous... No, I'm talking about British chavs, which actually stands for Council, House and Violent, and these people are the scum of the earth. You can tell when it's benefit day, because sometime round about 10-11 AM, when they all wake up and rush into town to get the benefits, you can see them all running around then with the cash they've got in hand to decide whether they go into the pub that's just opened or they go see the local dealer. And the entire town just looks like they're having a huge open audition for the latest extras for The Walking Dead or any other zombie movie, especially when it gets to about 6 o'clock at night and they've all had the drugs and alcohol. So on with the joke. What do chavs have in common with vodka? They're both commonly found behind bars. Like I said, that can be interchanged with anybody of any particular group. But it's not just those kind of jokes. One of my other favourite jokes, and I still laugh about it, what do you call a three-legged donkey? A wonky. So yeah, I'm up for clever jokes that can be interchanged, as well as stupid dad jokes. So I thought the best thing to do would be compare the top two sports of the nation. Because I'm a very sporty, active person. Just like I'm a lot like James Bond, which means I'm not very sporty at all. In fact, the closest I got to a bit of sports recently was parking the car, because on our street, parking the car can be classed as a contact sport. But anyway, so top sport in the US, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, I believe is the NFL, and the top sport in the UK is football, which you guys actually call soccer and are two completely different games, so I thought maybe this is a bad comparison. But then I remembered about a little game that we made up a while ago. You can basically call it NFL Extreme Rules. So what we do is, instead of having all the stoppages in play, is once the ball's in play, unless someone scores, or it goes out of grounds, or the ball's in such a position that it's not going anywhere, that's the only reason we stop play and restart it. And then what we do is we get the NFL players with the helmets, and we take the helmets away, and we get the body armour, we take the body armour away. They can have a gum shield, or a mouth shield, or whatever you call them. Perhaps some shin pads, bit in the shorts to protect the older jewels, and then maybe perhaps a bit of tape around the head so their ears don't get ripped off in a scrum, and we call it rugby. And if you've never seen or heard of rugby, you want to watch it, because if you think NFL players are tough, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm going to try and prove that now, even though my video editing skills are extremely limited, which explains why all you've had is lots of static stills. But I'm going to try and insert now some clips of some of the greatest hits, i.e. the best tackles or hardest tackles in the NFL. So yeah, some brutal tackles there. Now we're going to see rugby players do exactly the same thing without wearing the pads. Damn, they were some hard hits, and just as brutal. And remember, those guys aren't wearing pads. And just to prove how tough we are as a nation, here's our women doing exactly the same thing.
I wanna get in trouble, I wanna start a fight. Na 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 na, I wanna start a fight. Na 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 na, I wanna start a fight. So what? I'm still a rock star. I got my rock moves, and I don't need you. And guess what? I'm having more fun. And now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight.
So yeah, the men play it without pads, the women play it without pads. That's why we don't argue with our wives over here. But yeah, here's a slight example of an American reacting to rugby.
Okay, here we go. Rugby. Rugby hits. Oh my god. Stiff arm the damn. Ooh. Nigga, oh! Oh my god. No sir. Oh my goodness. No, he's dead. That nigga was dead. Oh my god. Oh! He broke his arm. That nigga broke his stuff.
Now there's a big thing at the moment in the NFL about their players having a lot of concussions. Well, I'm not surprised. If you go back and watch those videos, all the NFL players go in head first. But if you look at all those rugby players, they go in shoulder first. And that's how you tackle. You get the head to the side, and you get the shoulder in the gut or the chest. And yes, I used to play rugby, I know what I'm talking about. I may only be 5'9", and I may only be of slim athletic build, as it is described, but you get me the biggest guy in the world. I know someone like Terry Tate, and I will still tackle him and take him down, because it's dead easy. You put your head to the side, you put the shoulder in the gut, you lock your arms around the waist, and you wait for them to keep running. As soon as they keep running, you keep locking up those arms and tighten them up, and you tighten them up as you slide down the legs, and the next thing you know, the legs are locked together, they can't go anywhere. It doesn't matter how big a guy they are, they're going down. So now we're getting into words that mean slightly different things on the different side of the pond. So, for example, I'm at work in America, and I turn around to my manager and go, "Hey boss, I'm going outside to smoke a fag." They might be calling 911 right now, thinking I'm about to go outside and shoot a homosexual. Whereas an American working in the UK turns around to their UK boss and says, "You know, for lunch, I just ate a faggot." They might think you've just done something with a homosexual. And this is where we start getting to more confusing stuff. Because pants is actually shortened from underpants, which is exactly what they are. They are underpants that go under the trousers. It's the trousers you wear on the top and the pants underneath, not the pants on the outside, unless of course you're Superman. Then of course we have fanny packs. We don't call them fanny packs over here because fanny over here is a little bit different to what it is over there. We call them bum bags over here. And to us, a bum is not a homeless person, it's your butt. Then we move on to chips and crisps and fries and crisps and chips and oh god, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Right, fries. Fries. French fries are the thin little shit things that they serve at McDonald's, which are the thin versions of chips. Chips are the big chunky versions of the ones you get from McDonald's, the actual tasty ones that are just as unhealthy. Crisps are the things you get in bags that come in flavours like ready salted cheese and onion, salt and vinegar. And the sweets, not candy, sweets. And coffee. It's just coffee, it's great, it means the same thing on both sides, something we can agree on. And little known fact, Brits actually drink more coffee these days than they do tea, because tea's fucking disgusting. I suppose one of the biggest differences at the moment between the UK and the US is one of us elected an absolute mental, batshit crazy, vain, idiot, blonde-haired twat to lead the country. On the bright side, you guys elected Trump, who isn't even a politician, which is a good thing. Because my problem with politics at the moment is it's full of politicians. No, I am being genuinely seriously there. We elected Boris Johnson, for God's sakes. And yet you elected Trump, who is not a politician, which is probably the best thing ever. About time that governments around the world, especially capitalist governments, had non-politicians in charge. They actually know what the fuck they're talking about. And the ironic thing I've always said about the difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is in a democracy we get to choose our dictators. One of the main things I love about our countries, and I think the reason we've got so much in common, is because we share the language, we share the music, we share the films. We make a film in this country, you watch it over there. You make a film over there, we watch it over here. Some of the biggest blockbusters from Hollywood have been filmed right here. Some of the best music in the world has been made here and transferred to you. Yet, the other best music in the world has been made from you and transferred to us. I'm talking about people like Oasis, Beatles, Elvis Presley, Eminem, Pink. The list goes on. There are so many fantastic artists on both sides. And unfortunately, I'm even going to have to add this in because I really do rate them. Nickelback. Now, I know they're Canadian, part of the Commonwealth, so I suppose they're kind of UK-ish on a very loose tangent. Everyone seems to hate Nickelback, God knows why. I think they've done some really good songs. But saying that, I prefer my rave and R&B. I'm Eminem and Scooter all the way. Which again is ironic because I think Scooter are German. So yeah, that's it. Bit of an unusual one. More of me just sort of spurting off than anything else. Again, if you've stayed this far, you're a star. Please chuck a subscribe in there, tell your friends, get them to subscribe, get them to start watching, and as always, in the comments if there's anything you want to hear.